everybody, this is Brian.
And this is Didge.
First ever video review, another first. I'll never hand over on that blogspot.com.
Now you get to see our ugly gourds live.
That's right. We're talking about Ring of Honor, Honor Reclaims Boston.
Yes.
From the fall of '06, November actually.
And the question we will answer at the end of this review was Honor reclaimed?
We will address that.
Alright.
In time. 8 matches. We're going to jump right into things. Number 1, John Walters, not the film director, against Nigel McGuinness.
Which it might have been better if it did have the film director John Walters.
Yeah, the pencil stash. I love this cameo on The Simpsons and Jackass.
The anal.
But that was a good opener. It wasn't spectacular, but I mean it's an opener. You don't want to try to bust out everything in your first match.
But we did catch a couple near falls.
Yeah, some really good near falls.
One thing we were impressed at was John Walters' strength. He shown in some kind of powerbomb slam, lifting Nigel all the way up, and
when you mentioned,
I thought it was great.
When you mentioned John, I just thought you were gonna call out that thing that he did off the top turnbuckle.
No,
he jumped crotch first and kind of grazed
there was a
Nigel's head. Yeah, they had the issue with that. But after the second Tower of London, out of the corner, Nigel proclaimed the victory. It was pretty physical. There was some near falls. Good opener. I gave it a 4.
And I gave it a 4 as well, I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Okay, up next, women's match. Daisy Hayes against Mercedes Martinez.
Yes. Welcome back, Mercedes Martinez. It looks like you had quite a long stint in rehab. Because you came out and you were chubby and blonde and
rocking some facial jewelry.
Yeah.
That's always
and almost
very
some facial hair.
Tasteful. Match was really bad, actually. It actually made me really long for the knockouts in TNA and the women's division in WWE because by and large they're both producing on a weekly basis better women's wrestling. This was awful. Daisy Hayes' facials on selling. She's not pretending like she's a stoner. She was literally high.
Whenever she'd hit, her head will pop up. And
you know she smoked a bowl pre-match, and you know she, what was it, that cock of honor she smoked?
Cock of honor? Yeah. I gave that, a 3, I think. Mercedes
won it with a fisherman buster. I gave it a 2. Really a lot of lost look in the eyes of both women. Christopher Daniels against Chris Hero was match 3.
I've been on record many times saying Hero is my most unfavorite wrestler, period, in this match. And once again, he shows his ash-holeless nature and fucking around for 5 minutes before the match even fucking starts.
Yeah, Chris Centers, and he's a consummate professional. Yeah. Time in, time out, you usually expect strong ring work with him.
They couldn't be more polar opposites in the fact that Daniels don't waste motion in the ring, and that's what Hero's all about, to get over.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest issue with this one, was the styles clash.
He did silly front flips out of the ring, silly front flips into the ring, walking around on his knees, which he's very good at on his knees. But
certainly. This was a testament.
I hate everything about him, and you know what? He might really be a decent wrestler if he'd fucking throw out all the bullshit that he always does. He needs to cut off his bad indie hair, his shitty garb, and be a serious fucking wrestler for a change. It might help, and the fact that we're talking about now that he's claiming himself now as a knockout artist, knocking people out. There were some really sloppy, shitty, weak-ass fucking strikes.
Yeah, and his offense was made up of chokes and stomps, and that was about it. Now, Daniels, he had to basically lower himself to Hero's level, and the result was a throwaway match, in my opinion. The finish came, they were doing some reversal roll-ups, Daniels ended up on top. I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 4. And that was for the slap in Hero's face.
Yeah.
Because it was a slap in my face on how bad that work was.
Then directly after, both men's, subsequently their tag partners split off in a singles match. Matt Sydal, Claudio Castagnoli, a little bit better. Still not a great match.
Once again, the strikes weren't there. Which is the running gag in the show, is the strikes are incredibly... nothing really connects.
Yeah, especially on the first half of the card.
And we were also talking about how everybody seemed to be in slow motion.
Yeah.
Nobody was really picking up this.
Beantown didn't bring it. The Boston crowd,
they felt it. They didn't feel a lot of real energy coming off the wrestlers. You can tell. I mean, it's contagious. And if you come in and you're lackluster and you're lagging ass, of course that's what the crowd's going to be.
Yeah, and the night after they had a big card, so obviously they didn't.
They would pop for random huge spots like
there was some chance and
like Claudio's European side out of the air.
Right.
You know, just random shit like that. That match was alright, nothing to write home your mom about.
Right, there was some interplay. Match came at the end with a shooting Seidel press. Oddly enough, though, Claudio, set himself up for it. Watch the tape, you'll see.
It looked like he was throwing one of those fits Christian was in WWE circa 03.
Yeah.
When because he had to maneuver himself.
Had to kind of get himself in position for the Finn. I gave that one a 3 as well.
I gave that one a 4.
Moving on, 6-man tag, Steve Corino, Briscoe Brothers versus Homicide, Samoa Joe, BJ Whitmer. About a 10-minute brawl. Started off somewhat.
Nobody entered the ring for 10 minutes, and I guess there were some hard, sloppy shots being thrown. Once again, the strike's not there. Joe is taking the night off, and that seems to be, the running gag with him, actually.
Yeah.
As in, his TNA heavyweight title reign has been a lot of slop, and it looks like he was having it here. I haven't seen much from him lately, and to throw him in there with Corino, and everything Corino's done in the Ring of Honor has been bad.
Yeah, it led me to ask the question, why is the offices continuing to book Corino, especially at this point?
I don't know.
Easily 6 to 8 years after his heyday.
Maybe he has more footage of Feinstein with kids. I have no clue. A little blackmail action. But once again, the strikes were there, and once again, it was a Briscoes match, so it ran on about 10 minutes longer than it should have.
Right. It was marred with problems. There was moments where I found it somewhat captivating, somewhat interesting, but never, I would say, good.
Nothing blew my skirt.
The finish came with a spike J driver. That and a couple other moves. There were some people getting knocked on their heads. Samoa Joe, the few moments that he was in the ring that I recall.
And he got hot for about a minute and a half, and then he took a break.
Yeah.
So
I give it a 4.
I gave that a 3.
I think that was the one encounter I gave a match a higher score than you, and I think I was just giving pity points.